Salutations, people of the internet. Welcome to the database. Last year I covered Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, two of the first 3D Mario games in the series, and two out of the three games featured in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So it makes sense that I would finish this collection by looking at its third title, Super Mario Galaxy. I remember getting Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii back in the day. I got my Wii as a Christmas gift from my parents back in 2007, a year later after the console's release. And what I got as a tie-in from my memory, aside from Wii Sports, was Super Mario Galaxy, and I think Super Paper Mario. Christmas in 2007 was a blur, and unlike 64 and Sunshine, Galaxy was considered my, and many others, first 3D Mario game. Yeah, I was a little harsh on Sunshine and kinda on 64 because I never grew up with those two Mario games. I never owned a GameCube or a Nintendo 64 as a kid, and the Wii was my first home console I ever owned, the Game Boy Advance and DS Lite being my first two handhelds. But now we're at the game that I have fond memories of. Has this game aged well as I remember back in the day? Well, let's take a look at Super Mario Galaxy and find out. The idea of Super Mario Galaxy came from the tech demo of Super Mario 128, a tech demo that was presented to show the power of the Nintendo GameCube at Space World 2000. Sigh, how much they improved since the Nintendo 64. Pieces of ideas from Mario 128 were utilizing to create the groundwork of Super Mario Galaxy, mainly its use for moving around terrain. The idea of multiple mini-Marios on screen would later become the core idea for Pikman, a game series that got its start on the GameCube, later spawning a small batch of sequels and an animated short. I never played any of the Pikmin series, but I know there are fans of these games, and maybe I might look over them in the near future. Later, Yoshiaki Koizumi would implement the spherical-based platforming that Mario Galaxy would use in many of their stages. To utilize the functions of the Nintendo Wii, a lot of the games during the console's lifespan use a lot of motion controls. For Super Mario Galaxy, this comes in a Wiimote's IR sensor as a cursor to navigate through the game, and the motion controls were slated to be simple commands, specifically shaking the remote. Galaxy is also the first of many games on the Wii to have the Wiimote use a nunchuck add-on that's bundled with the console. Considering how much of a gap there was between the skill levels of 64 and Sunshine, Nintendo wanted to create a game that is more mainstream towards its accessibility for all skill levels, having it staged while linear but also simple in gameplay control. And while the spherical level design can be seen as a visual headache for some, they are at least slow and comfortable for the eyes. Combine all these groundworks and ideas in mind, mix with a story on a grander scale, and you have Super Mario Galaxy. The story of Super Mario Galaxy starts with a celebration within the Mushroom Kingdom called the Star Festival, as Princess Peach invites Mario over to the festival to give a special gift. In comes Bowser and his army to take the princess once more. Of course, seeing as he learned his lesson from taking over the castle from 64, he decides to steal the entire castle instead, setting off to outer space. Mario gets blasted off the premises of the castle and sees himself on a remote planet containing Lumas that you have to chase around for a few minutes, as well as a protector of the cosmos, Rosalina. She immediately becomes a fan favorite of mine in the Mario franchise, thanks to this game alone. She has this backstory that you slowly unlock as you progress the game, which is somewhat parts heartwarming and some parts tearjerking that it makes me cry at the end. I won't spoil anything from this side story, but I highly recommend checking it out if you're a fan of her character. Rosalina will give you the same white Luma that Peach was carrying in the beginning, and thus grant you the spin ability that is not an inspiration from Crash Bandicoot at all. Back on the Wii, you use this ability to attack enemies and break objects with a swing of the Wiimotes, but here on the 3D All-Stars collection, it's not only that, but also an assigned button. God damn it. After dabbing the first of many Power Stars, or in this case, one of 7 Grand Stars, you're greeted to this game's hub world, the Comet Observatory. Rosalina says that the observatory was once a moving vessel that traveled the cosmos. However, their energy source, the Power Stars, were stolen by Bowser, and thus the ship is stuck in limbo. So from this point going forward, Mario is tasked to collect enough power stars to power up the observatory, at least enough to rescue Peach at the center of the universe. The minimal star count being 60 stars out of 121, that's generous. By defeating Bowser at the center of the universe, a planet collapses. The universe begins to collapse along with it, and thus a black hole is created. The white Luma that was with Mario along with all the other Lumas entered a black hole and technically caused a universal reset. Shit, eat your heart out, Father Pucci. Rosalina states that stars that die, new stars will be born, thus recreating the universe, aka Super Mario Galaxy 2 and onward. Mario, Peach, and Bowser return to the Mushroom Kingdom now in a new universe, and that was the story of Super Mario Galaxy. You sure this isn't Stone Ocean? The pacing of this story likes to take things slow. You're traveling across the depths of the unknown, so it's best that the players are taking the time or a breather to take in the atmosphere that they're launched into. This is especially known in the Gateway Galaxy and the Good Egg Galaxy, two stages that are basically tutorials to your overall adventure. While we're on the subject of galaxies, let's talk about those and the gameplay next. Much like Super Mario Sunshine, Galaxy's progression of getting this game's MacGuffins is still linear, but I did bash on the concept of linearity back in my Sunshine video, but here, I guess it's fine enough. Unlike where Sunshine has large-sized areas for you to explore, yet you follow a linear process of getting the shines, Galaxy changes that. Rather than having a large area, you are given a set path to get to the Power Star through series of planets that Mario can walk around. Each Galaxy stage consists of 6 to 7 Power Stars, 3 of those stars being the normal missions going from point A to point B, whether the stage ends with you completing a certain task before earning a Power Star, or just reaching the end point of the stage, or from a boss fight. Other stars include 3 green stars that unlock the 3 trial galaxies, and a red Power Star you get from using the Red Star ability. The other 3 or 2 stars coming from this game's new Prankster Comet missions. The Prankster Comet serves to give previously known stages from the normal missions and give them a unique challenge. Each Prankster Comet is assigned a coded color to indicate what type of challenge you're in for. Red Comets are speedrunning challenges where you must complete a stage within a time limit. Blue Comets are where you race a cosmic clone of Mario. Yellow Comets are challenges where the entire stage becomes very fast and normal. And my favorite, the White Comet, are Daredevil challenges where you beat a stage or boss fight without getting hit. Purple Comets replace the 100 coin challenge with 100 purple coins that are preset laid out across the stage. Some are given a time limit to collect them, while most of them are very linear in collecting them, or stage that take forever and have you search for them across the whole stage. You unlock other galaxies by collecting certain amount of Power Stars, which never became a problem for me, because I always have more than enough stars for the next stage, and more enough to reach the center of the universe. You select the galaxy you want to go by going through the Cosmic Observatory, and go inside one of 6 domes that host multiple galaxies. The terrace, the fountain, the kitchen, the bedroom, the engine room, and the garden. Psst. This is a secret room. Each dome consists of 2 large-sized galaxies that host 6 to 7 Power Stars, and 2 smaller portion galaxies that host 1 or sometimes 2 Power Stars. Outside each dome consists of 1 hungry Luma, where you can access another small portion galaxy, as long as you have a certain amount of star bits on standby. Star bits are colorful little rocks that you can collect by going to them, or taking the use of the Wiimote's or Joy-Con's motion controls and Wiimote's IR sensor. These star bits can grant you 1-ups if you collect 50, and can also be used as ammunition to stun small enemies. Mario's maneuverability has taken a new overhaul this time around. His jumps are a little floatier than 64 and Sunshine, which makes a lot of sense given that our adventure is in space. His long jump has returned from 64, and wow, I love using this here more than 64. Now, I know that that's a hot take for all you 64 speedrunners out there, but believe me, as a kid playing this game, this was the coolest version of the long jump I ever used. Same goes with the backflip and crouch button, but these moves pale in comparison to the Bandicoot spin. The spin maneuver is the one feature that makes Mario Galaxy stand out. The spin can be used in many scenarios. the main use being the attack of enemies close by and for a high jump and vertical distance when platforming. Other use of the spin includes homing into enemies through a ground pound. This can be done by spinning in the air and immediately pressing the ground pound button afterwards. The power-ups in this game take inspiration from 2D Mario games as temporary items that can be used in certain sections in the game. The Fire Flower from 2D Mario games makes their transition into 3D smoothly, as they let Mario create fire projectiles that bounce around the stage. Ice Flowers transform Mario into Iceman and let Mario ski above water. Spring Mario limits your moveset and automatically bounces you around, but lets you jump higher than a triple jump could ever could. There is also the Rainbow Star that is basically like the Starman power-up from the classics. And then there's Bee Mario that lets you fly slowly and climb on honeys. For some reason, you're also attracted to cockroaches. Boom Mario turns Mario into a ghost and lets you fight through walls. Finally, there is this Red Star power-up, and man, what a cool yet such a useless power-up. This lets Mario fly, stop in mid-air to adjust his direction, and spin to grab things in air. This power-up is used for one power star and in the hub world. Why the was this power-up a thing if they decide to do this? Speaking of the classics, you can also find 1-up mushrooms, and the all-new 6 HP mushroom that increases your HP count from 3 to 6 for certain missions. Makes no fucking sense because 64 and Sunshine had more HP than this, but okay. You also have Koopa shells that are useful underwater, and for some missions you have this bubble to traverse through obstacles. Speaking of obstacles, Galaxy has 2 gameplay styles that use motion controls. There is this ball that Mario balances on, while the guidance of the provided background music, and the Manta Ray surfing missions where you steer left and right to race across the wavy water. You only need 60 stars to complete the entire story of Super Mario Galaxy, but that doesn't stop you from collecting all the stars along the way. Many of the stars in this game are easy to collect. This is all thanks to the quick previews before each mission that indicate your end goal. Other stars can be very challenging, mainly because you're forced into a different gameplay style entirely. Looking at you, Trial Galaxies. I enjoy many of the boss fights in Galaxy, compared to the bosses in 64 and Sunshine. This was especially thanks to the game's new orchestrated background music. Literally a full-size orchestra composed the soundtrack for this game. Thank God the soundtrack for this game is available on the 3D All-Stars collection and online, because for Christ's sake I'm not buying the physical copy. The boss fights aren't the only ones that are backed by orchestra music. Most of the stages have this style in music too. For the first stage you enter, the Good Egg Galaxy, to the fan favorite Gusty Garden Galaxy. We also get quieter musical tracks to hear during Space Jump Galaxy and the Luma theme song. The music of the final stage, the center of the universe, really emphasized that this is the fight against Bowser that has now reached a new level in terms of stakes, compared to the melodramatic stakes from Sunshine. By 100%ing the main campaign as Mario, by collecting all 120 Power Stars in Super Mario Galaxy, you receive an additional unlockable campaign, this time playing as Luigi. This marks Luigi's debut appearance in the mainline 3D Mario game, not including the spin-off Luigi's Mansion. His physics can be very similar to how he played in the classic Mario games, with Luigi having a higher jump, as well as slippery traction. While you still collect the same 120 stars as before, at the time when Galaxy came out, this was a cool idea. Though I did say you actually need to collect 120 stars to unlock Luigi, because once you finish Luigi's campaign of collecting his 120 stars, you unlock the last and 121st star for both campaigns, whereas just Mario and Luigi collecting 100 purple coins across the Star Festival from the beginning of the game. Is this the last stage? Kinda lame? Yeah, but I see this as a nice relaxing finale to an already epic adventure across the stars. In fact, once you collect all 120 stars in both campaigns, you're gifted a nice and cute photo of Peach taking a picture of Mario and Luigi. For the Wii, this was sent to your Wii message board, but for the Switch, this is sent to your album folder. So yeah, there isn't a whole lot to unlock as a reward for a 100% completion, except for the Rosalina side backstory that you can unlock during progression. No boss rush mode or anything special like a way to watch cutscenes, except for these 2 nifty crowns and a shiny profile. That's it. Okay, yeah, let's wrap it up. So that was Super Mario Galaxy. the first 3D Mario game I ever played as a kid. And I definitely agreed to my kid self that this game still aged well to this day. This game is visually gorgeous, especially for a game that came out on the Nintendo Wii in 2007. While the game is more linear than Sunshine in 64, it makes up for it by letting the players explore every nook and cranny of each planet-side stage for tons of star bits and other goodies. The platforming is satisfying, mainly thanks to Mario's new jump spin. Never thought I knew how much height I could get thanks to this new ability. Yeah, I did say in my Super Mario Sunshine video that I enjoy abusing the hover nozzle, but that too has its cons time to time. One of them having to turn left and right while hovering, and your momentum can be very ficky when platforming. And Galaxy has a set of cons too, like some of the Prankster Comet missions being lame on paper and execution, and the fact that you play the entire campaign again as Luigi with no major changes whatsoever. And of course, the power-ups are as more situational than the alternate nozzles from Sunshine and the different caps from 64. So, my final grade for Super Mario Galaxy will be a solid A. It's still a great game, regardless of its cons. Though I do see a lot of people getting a bit exhausted completing the game while playing as the taller brother. And yes, starting this season, you'll be seeing the grade for each game and show that I review, as well as a list of pros and cons listed on screen. I'll give you time to read them all. This was something that I first established way back in my Sonic Frontiers video. Okay, so I reviewed everything for the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, but Super Mario Galaxy 2 is not on there, so how am I supposed to capture footage from the 3D Mario games now? Well, I guess I could figure that one out in due time. For now, when the time comes, I'll be skipping games like Galaxy 2 and 3D Land on the 3DS. And for my next Mario game on this list, we'll be taking a look at Super Mario 3D World, as well as its updated version on the Switch that features Bowser's Fury. After that, we may be looking over Super Mario Odyssey afterwards. Who knows, time will tell. Thumbs up the video if you like it, subscribe to the database, and follow me on social media as seen above. I'm Christopher James, and I'll see you next time.